Hi, Angelarts. I am Roma Haz, and this is my mock audition for your Athenaeum campaign. When I first heard about the Athenaeum campaign, I seriously considered doing a full audition just because I really enjoy the concept. I think the idea of having characters from different genres interacting with each other is a great idea. Unfortunately, I just don't think I have the time to invest into another year-long campaign. But like as with all of my mock auditions, Hark, if you like this concept or anything you want to use it as an NPC or you want to have me on as a guest spot, I mean, I am always open for that. but Yeah, for those of you who have never seen me before, I am Roma Haz. I was in I was in Hark's Pokemon Spectrum campaign. I played Molly Moon, and I also played the Grimer Ew. I was also a guest character in the Harry Potter campaign. I played Anira El Hakim, who was a squib who used science to try to replicate magical abilities. I've been around on Hark's channel, but so I'm very excited to offer this mock audition to hopefully either spark some more creativity for either Hark or for any other potential auditioners, even though I know it's quite late. I know it's quite late, but hey, better late than never, right? On to the character concept. This is actually a bit different from all the other characters that I've been seeing because this is not actually a character from any one particular genre. This is actually a personification of a particular trope that is very common in fiction. So, the character's name is D, and their full name is DF, which actually stands for Death Fodder. D is actually a personification of the character whose only purpose in the story is to die, usually pretty close to the beginning of the story, and that usually acts as the catalyst for the main character to go on and do their part of the story. So move on to the main part. So for example, in a superhero comic book, D represents the parent figure, the parent or parents who die and prompt the superhero to want to go out and fight crime. Uh, in in the horror in the horror genre, D is actually the the arrogant bully who is the first one murdered by the by the killer. In in let's say let's say a high fantasy book, D is actually the grizzled old mentor or father figure who ends up dying to help save the main character. So D is not necessarily a single character. They're actually like they represent all of these different characters. And so they don't have a set age, they don't have a set gender, they don't even have a set species. So they could be the beloved family pet who dies in the woods and alerts the family that there's something dangerous out in the woods. They could be an entire planet of aliens who gets destroyed in a big intergalactic war. You know, like that. Like D is definitely a huge amalgamation of different characters all in one single trope. And so Dee's character motivation in this is actually to try to figure out where he belongs necessarily because uh, well, not even he, sorry, where they belong. And the reason for that is because they know that they're just a tool, and they're kind of resentful for that. Like they are never the main character of their own story. They simply exist just to hand the story off to the real hero, basically. And they are kind of resentful of that, and so they have a lot of questions about self identity or self worth. Are can they ever have their own story, and do they even deserve their own story? And so I think there's a lot of interesting uh, character development that could happen with D, and I also think D has a lot of comedy potential too, because I imagine that D takes whatever whatever form of character that they are currently representing, and then once that character dies in the story, they just keel over and then get up and they're already a different form. So, and that form could be one person, many people. It could be a dog, a cat, a worm, whatever whatever has to die in order for the story to continue. So D I think D has a lot of potential. If you like this idea, I hope you use it in your campaign. And yeah, I hope you like this idea.